My name is Adam Greteman, and I am an associate professor of art education at the School of the Art Institute of Chicago in Chicago, Illinois, in the United States. I'm currently working on a range of projects. Most interestingly, I think, an intergenerational LGBTQ plus dialogue project that creates an opportunity for elder and younger LGBTQ plus folks to engage in sustained dialogue over the course of a year. I applied to the SSHARC Fellowship after hearing about the opportunity from a fellow, Jen Gilbert, who told me about the fellowship program, in particular the 2023 theme around queer youth and queer aging. The theme itself spoke to the work that I do both with LGBTQ plus young people, but also through the LGBTQ plus intergenerational dialogue project. I established my collaboration with Dr. Rowlings after hearing about the opportunity and realizing that I needed an academic host. So I reached out to a few colleagues, including Jen Gilbert and a few other colleagues I know in Australia. I also was in contact with Dr. Wallace to learn about some of the details of applying. And across everybody I talked to in this process, everyone told me I should reach out to Dr. Rowlings, given her work and my work being interested in and around LGBTQ plus issues in schools and beyond. So I reached out to Dr. Rowlings, and over a series of wonderfully generous and detailed emails, we got to know more about one another's work, places where our work intersects, and possible collaborations that we could develop and build through a SSHARC Fellowship. My aims for the fellowship are multifaceted. I think the very first aim is to establish some collaborative relationships with Dr. Rowlings, Dr. Wallace, as well as some other individuals who I've been beginning to kind of do some research around in terms of our potential relationships, intersections with our work. Along with that kind of initial building collaborative relationships, which takes time, energy, and actually I think being in presence with one another, is starting to develop an international group of scholars that are doing work at the intersection of LGBTQ plus aging, LGBTQ youth and elder contact, conversations, possibilities. I don't know what that would look like entirely. I think would be developing a special issue of a journal or an edited book volume that brings together that range of scholars to manifest and think through the range of issues, possibilities, conundrum, paradoxes that emerge when you bring together two populations that exist under that umbrella, LGBTQ+, but have vastly different experiences sometimes. But then in conversation, we learn that those conversations and experiences are oftentimes much more similar than we might expect. The findings that we've discovered, happened upon, mistakenly realized in doing the work around intergenerational dialogue, is the need for patience and sustained time. Oftentimes these kind of conversations can flare up, particularly when we think about the work of social media, but the work of sitting in one another's presence, getting to know one another, seeing one another's embodied realities really helps bring to life the histories, the experiences, the traumas and joys that are part of, being a part of the LGBTQ plus community, which then intersects with so many other communities. And so all of those stories emerge over time and require patience and care and generosity, which sometimes is very difficult to sustain in a world that seems very fast-paced and fascinated by 140 characters.